guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name's Malcolm. We have an exclusive. We have a new free agent on the market, and his name is Joe Alonzo. How are you, man?
Dude, I feel kind of free. Ain't nothing anymore. All right, yeah, okay,
This guy.
I'm good.
This guy.
I feel good. I feel good.
Hey, you just announced recently that you are no longer, recently as in a few hours ago, that you're no longer part of the NWA. You're a free agent. What led to this decision for you to like leave the company?
Uh, okay, okay. You are my first interview that I'm doing, by the way. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're the first. I got a couple other big ones lined up. So I was told, hey, you got a lot of people watching how you're gonna handle this. So make sure you carry yourself as a professional. So okay, all right, how did I lead into this? Okay,
Whatever you want
so
to say.
I it's been kind of on my mind that I knew signing with the NWA when I started that NWA is not the end all be all, that and I don't want to make anyone upset, but it is a stepping stone to get to bigger and better places. So when I signed with I knew that it was only going to be short lived, and they asked me to stay. And what they were offering wasn't what I was looking for. I asked if they can do better. And then they offered me something else, but it was just a little too long. And I don't have. I think the one thing that has been said repeatedly over the past couple of weeks into making this decision was that the one thing that money can't ever buy is time, and nobody's guaranteed time. So I am going to. I just think this is the best decision for me, and a lot of people said it was a bad decision, but I think it was a great decision. And when you bet on yourself, you can never go wrong, and there's nobody to blame but yourself if things don't go your way.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, it seems like you're definitely moving in the right direction for yourself and seeing what you can do next in pro wrestling. You recently just dropped your junior heavyweight title, obviously with no longer being part of NWA. You dropped to Alex Taylor. What's your thoughts on him as a champion now as he goes into his reign as a junior heavyweight champion?
So it's crazy, right? Like, isn't it? Like, I'm just such a good wrestler. I'm a champion, so good at wrestling, man. I just nobody could beat me. I'm the best. And then as soon as my contract just ends, I just become a less better of a wrestler for one day, and I just lose the title. It's crazy how that happens. I mean, you know, I man, like I'm being myself, but then I'm being my real self at the same time. So it's hard to like mix the two and not rub anyone the wrong way because you don't know who is watching, and I don't want people like watching this and thinking something about me when they don't know and they don't know what is really and what isn't, what's the behind the smoke and mirrors. But I truly believe, in my most humble opinion, that like there was nobody who could do what I was doing at NWA, and it's not a knock on Alex Taylor. He's great. He's a nice guy, very respectful and humble. I wish nothing but the best for him, and he does work his ass off. So I'm happy that all of a sudden he became better than me and beat me. I don't know what happened. I was fasting for 3 days.
Yeah.
I did a 3 day water fast, which I got to post the before and after photos. It's crazy. You can see my abs. But then I just ate like shit yesterday, so not anymore. But um, maybe that's what it was. I also pulled my hamstring and in that match. So and I also wrestled the match right before that, but it's okay. I'm happy for him. I wish that we could have did it at NWA 76, but the people in power said that that's not a good decision because they have to do what they have to do to protect their company. But I think it hurts their company. But hey, you know what? Not my problem. I don't work there no more.
Hey, that it is what it is. Um, what's your relationship right now with Billy Corgan as like maybe that last week or so of you announcing that to them at least that you weren't going to be resigning with NWA because you posted a clip when you announced your departure and it showed Billy Corgan saying a lot of great things about you, saying that you will be on big stage. Hopefully that's an NWA stage, but a big stage that it will be. What's your relationship status with him?
Um, so I can say this. I've always liked Billy. Um, he's a little weird, and I've told Billy this to himself. He's a really weird guy, but he's been famous since he was 19 years old, so I get it. Uh, as far as I like that Billy is very blunt. I'm a very blunt person, so he doesn't sugarcoat anything. Whatever's on his mind, he says, which that rubs people the wrong way. It doesn't for me. Sometimes I think he doesn't know. He doesn't. I don't think he is as smart in our world as much as he thinks he is. Um, like I'll say this, like sometimes Billy would say things to me. I'm like, oh, I like Billy, and then Billy would say other things. I'm like, dude, were you dropped on your head? Like, who's taking bumps here, me or you? Uh, like he told me, and I can't say who was there for this conversation, but he goes, yeah, I don't know. He's like, I think it's working up. Like, who's gonna earn the next title shot for Colby Carino? It's gonna be between uh you and another wrestler. Well, yeah, I'm growing up. I'm maturing a little bit. You and this one other wrestler. And I said, okay. And he's like, yeah, I haven't decided if it's gonna be you or him yet. Like he's like, I think he's right now he's killing it. He's a better heel than you are by far. And I like looked at him and I'm like, are you okay? And I straight up told him, I was like, that's cool. Like I get that's your opinion, but your opinion's wrong. Like you're wrong. And I know that's wild to tell your boss, but I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Like you're crazy if you think that. So I think he respected that I was very honest with my opinion on things. I think the people who were in his ear didn't like that I was honest because I think maybe this is most companies, but at least for the NWA, I think they don't like when people talk back, and I don't think it's talking back. If you read the contracts say it's a partnership. I'm not your employee. I'm not getting health care. I have no benefits. So I'm not your employee. We are a partnership and we're doing this together. So if I think something would be better this way, I'm not saying we have to do that. I'm just throwing a suggestion. Don't get offended that I'm throwing a suggestion out there. But it was just weird. Like I think I will say this, like I think outside of wrestling, like me and Billy would get along great. And Billy has said himself that I remind him a lot of his younger self. I mean, we're both from Chicago, both very, goal driven and very ambitious and very blunt. So sometimes those people mesh together, and sometimes they kind of bump heads. So I think if you take a project or take something out of the equation and you just have us sit in the same room and just chop it up and shoot the shit, I think we'd get along great. But I sent him a message right after I made the announcement and said that I'm free agent. I just sent a thank you, and he said he wishes me my best on everything, and I wished him the best for the NWA. And he's currently on tour right now, and I know I kind of made his life a living hell the past couple of weeks on trying to figure all this out because he's on tour, and that's the last thing he wants to deal with is Joe Alonzo. But shout out to Billy for taking the time to handle the whole situation. So me and Billy are great. The other people, not so much, but me and Billy, the boss, we have a good relationship.
Well, that's good to hear at least that you guys are okay for the most part. Looking at the NWA in general, though, like they have built so many stars that in recent history that have gone on to these bigger companies like AEW, WWE, etc. Do you see yourself being one of those guys that leaves the NWA, then joins the WWE, AEW, TNA, if possible?
Who was the last major star that came from the NWA that made it big somewhere else?
Nick Aldis.
Really, I feel like Nick. I don't really. Would you say Nick Aldis? I feel like
Yeah.
Rick, like he was one of them. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying
Yeah.
who is the last one? You think Nick Aldis?
I think Nick Aldis is the most recent one because like Ricky was like COVID time AEW, and then Nick joined WWE when he was like general manager, so that was pretty recent within last year.
Okay, so maybe I always kind of saw Nick Aldis as like a name in wrestling, like a pretty big name. So I maybe that's in my mind. I didn't really look
It's
at it like
fair,
that.
justified.
I don't know if I would count him in that because everyone always kind of knew who he was. But I feel like someone like Ricky Starks, that was probably like because I don't think the NWA made Nick Aldis. I don't know if I can say that, but
You can say that. That's
I
fair.
I think that Ricky Starks though, he was like the one that was kind of groomed at NWA and then went to AEW and took off.
Listen, fair.
So I think he's the last one I would say was Ricky Starks. And when I had the offer to go to NWA to sign with them, I was honestly looking at his career, how that went, because I'm like, okay, like he was the last young guy that went there and kind of used it for what he could and took off. And look at him now. And I think Joe Alonzo is the most recent. And I don't think there's not many other people there who could do what Ricky Starks did or what Eddie Kingston did or Nick Aldis or so on and so on. So I think I don't want to say what company exactly. I don't want to, play favoritism, but I definitely, I don't think I know that I can. And like I said, before I got to the NWA, I said every single day, Joe Alonzo, will sign a professional wrestling contract. And I did. I knew it was going to happen. And now, I'm going to tweet tomorrow. Joe Alonzo, will sign another professional wrestling contract, but it'll be for a lot more money and for a much larger platform.
Amazing, amazing. What are you currently doing right now? Like, because I know you had like a few indie dates. So do you have any more lined up?
Yeah. I have a couple lined up. Right now I'm actually on my way home from one. I was just in Lancaster or Lebanon or something like right around there for Three Legacies Wrestling. It was Ricardo Rodriguez. He has a promotion in Pennsylvania. He has a school. So I just wrestled in the main event of his show. I have to look at as far as calendar goes, but I'm doing a lot of stuff for like AAW in Chicago. A lot of Texas promotions. One of them being one of my home, I'll consider my home, GCWA in Gulf Coast, Texas. I'm sorry, Corpus Christi, Texas, Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance, the company. I'm in talks with a couple of other companies. It was really hard to try to line up independence when I was with the NWA. I just had they ruined my relationship with a lot of these indies because of the fact that I would line up dates and then they would give me like NWA would hit me up and be like, hey, we need you to be here like within under 2 weeks. So a company I was booked for 2 months in advance, now I'm canceling on them 2 weeks out, and it's just not a good look. So now I don't have to deal with that, and now I can, I think, rebuild those relationships and kind of let them know, hey, I have no one telling me I can't do this now. So I think the independents are going to pick up a lot more now.
Is there any names on the independent scene that you're looking to mix it up with anytime soon?
Man, I don't know. The indies have been kind of dead. I feel everyone who's kind of doing something is currently under a contract. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Like I hear like East Coast names, like some East Coast, like out east. There's Channing Thomas. I'd like to somehow work with him. Um, Alec Price is another one I've heard. Northeast, that'd be another name. Casey Navarro.
Of course.
West Coast. Is there any? I'm trying to think if there's any West Coast guys. Like I'm not really big into these guys who are super athletic and can do all these crazy. I'm not into that. It doesn't. I see it all the time. I'd rather watch your clip of you go viral hurting yourself on the internet. I'd rather not be a part of it. But not too many. I don't know. I think maybe I'll bring the indies back to life. Make the indies watchable again.
Okay. I think a good name for you as well. I feel like you and a Zilla Fatu would do really well together, personally.
Oh, he is independent. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that would be interesting. I think it'd be fun to piss him off and see how much I can get away with. That'd be fun. Is
That's
he? Where's he working at right now? What indies is he on?
I think GCW, Reality Wrestling, and I think they just announced House of Glory.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Zilla Fatu. I've wrestled this family member, Mr. Sepafatu, Sola Sokoa. So I pissed him off before, so it'd be fun to just keep pissing off the family and see how much, go
Okay.
along with the bloodline, brother.
I'm sure he's gonna watch this, but if Zilla Fatu is watching this right now, what's your message to him?
Brother, you're new to the scene. This has been my game for a long time. I'm not gonna go into this whole for you because I ain't getting paid to do it. But if we ever line it up, just know I'll teach you a thing or two that Booker T couldn't teach you. I'll show you what the Indies is really about, and yeah, I'll just show you how reckless my mouth is. No Diddy.
I'm glad you added the no Diddy part. That was a crazy line you just said. But hey, you know, hey, hey, I don't know, whatever. Hey, you know, moving on. As we start to wrap this up, that was a crazy line.
No, I'm joking. I don't do that.
Hey, yo. All right,
Hey, no,
the best life. I'm not here to judge you. Not at all. As we start to wrap this up, Joe, where can people find you on social media, and what can they expect out of you going forward with your career?
So you can follow me at Joe Alonzo Jr. on all social media platforms. On X, well, actually, that's a lie. All social media platforms, just X and Instagram. I don't do the whole TikTok and all that other stuff. But hit me up there if you want to book me. I just dropped a post. I just asked you to share what you did. Thank you so much. And then as far as what you can see, I don't know. I think now I'm not limited to what the NWA has to offer as far as talent wise. So now I am jumping into different talents to be able to work with. And now I can I don't know, I think I could do a bunch of cool different things now. I feel like when you're with a company, you're limited to do certain things. And they have a certain style there. So now I'm mixing with a lot of different styles, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. And it's been a while since I think like the last wild thing I did was the stuff I did with Homicide. Maybe Colby Carino. I was pretty wild with that. But I've been a good boy lately, and I think it's time to piss off the world again and see what we can get away with and see if they try to cancel me again, because that's always fun.
Yeah, of course, man. Final question, a personal question.
Especially when you survive, because they can never get me. You can never cancel me. You can't do it. I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable, and it's a challenge. Please try.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you want that kind of smoke, but okay.
I love it, bro. Just don't give in.
Okay, sure. Whatever you say. Last question, the personal question. I'm wrestling a very big guy named AJ Francis in 2 months. How do I beat him?
Okay, how do you beat? Okay, I know how to beat a guy like AJ Francis. All right. So here's the thing. Don't try to talk shit to him. Don't worry about that. Stay focused on the match. You're not gonna talk AJ Francis. It's just not gonna happen. All right, strong guy, and you just have to take all the strength in your body, and you have to go after his knees and ankles. That dude is such a big ass man, and those ankles and those knees, that they are depending on everything. So if you just blast one of those out and you don't try to go anything else, I think you'll be all right. But if you get hit, you're screwed, man. Like MuscleManMalcolm, more like paraplegic Malcolm, because you're screwed. Don't. I don't even know how you're doing this. I saw him smack you. You didn't do anything. Like, I'm not saying if I got smacked by AJ, I'm not going to do anything right there. But you take your eye off me, you're fucked.
It's on site for sure. You know, we're figuring out the logistics of situations, but we're gonna figure it out. Yeah.
Dude, just he made you, like, I still have respect for you, but like, man, watching you get smacked and nothing really happened after that, like, man, you got to get yours now. It's time to get yours.
That's what I'm saying. But you know, we're gonna handle it. We'll handle it in 2 months. Well, thank you for the advice. It's greatly appreciated.
Knees and ankles, bro. Knees
and ankles.
Knees and ankles. I had to take off my Crocs to do that.
Thank you. I'm also wearing Crocs. So good man. Well, thank you, Joe, for your time. Really appreciate it.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. Hey.